All right, guys, it's 8 o'clock, so we're going to get started. I'm going to make sure everybody's muted, but as people come in, it might get a little noisy. I'll try to stay on top of it. I have this recording as well for anybody who needs it after the fact. So here we go. All right, so welcome. My name is Erica, for those of you who don't know me. I've been a coach for about 4.5 years now, and I'm not going to share my whole story because the point of me sharing tonight is to talk to you about what a coach does, what we do like on a regular basis, and what it's all about. But I will tell you that I used to be an elementary reading teacher, and that was back in New York. I did that for about 4 years, and then we moved to North Carolina, and I decided to stay home with my son. But if you've ever been a stay-at-home mom before, you know it gets really, really lonely. And especially being in a new state, I was like really struggling with being home, like transitioning from a full-time job to being home with a child who at the time really didn't talk to me much. And it was really hard on me. I got really resentful of my husband, who got to leave the house every day and talk to adults. And so I started to look for something to be a part of. And at the same time, I was struggling with my health. I was overweight, and what I was doing wasn't working. And so Beachbody came into my life at a time where I really needed both sides. But I really started with the health side of things. I didn't really believe in myself at first. I was really, really skeptical, which a lot of you probably are as well. And I didn't really understand the business side of things. And all I knew was that like what I saw other people doing, which wasn't really impressive to me at the time, to be honest. And so I started with the health side. But over the last 4 years, I have been able to grow my income to a point where I am able to stay home now. So when my son went to kindergarten, which was last school year, I didn't have to return to teaching like I had intended to. I got to stay home, and that allows me to be here for him at all times of the day, like in the morning to put him on the bus, and I get to be there to get him off the bus. I get to be there to go to lunch with him in the middle of the day or hit up his field trips with him. And to me, that's what this is all about, is just freedom of time. And so that's my story in a nutshell. But a coach, it could be complicated, I guess, but in its simplest form, like a coach is just a friend. It's a support system. It's an accountability partner, a cheerleader. I know if you guys are like me, then you've done things in the past where you maybe didn't reach your goals, like you failed, you tried, you failed, you tried, you failed, and you did something new and you failed again. And that was me. I didn't have like the community part. I was going to like Walmart and buying a DVD and trying to do it in my house. And I would last for about a week, and then you get tired and life happens and things get in the way and you quit. And that was me. And so a coach is that person who helps you to keep going. They bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and they take your hand and they help you along your journey. Now, that doesn't mean that a coach is an expert. I have a lot of people tell me, I'm not ready to be a coach. I can't be a coach. I'm not at my goal weight. I have a lot of weight to lose, or, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't even help myself. And that's normal. And that's actually the best time to start, because when you're trying to help people, they don't want somebody who's perfect, who never struggles, who like doesn't know what it's like to struggle. They don't want a person like that as their coach. They want somebody who can relate to them, who can understand what they're going through. So what better time to become a coach than when you're working on your own journey, so that you can take people's hands and say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do this and you should do it with me. Like that is like, in my opinion, the absolute best coach. So it's okay. Like if you feel like you're lost in your own journey, that's okay. You're not expected to know everything. Our team is really, really special. We started our team because we wanted to have a really special team culture. And by that, I mean, we wanted this business to be more than a business. We wanted to be a family, and we wanted to be friends first. And that's exactly what we are. we get together all the time. I mean, we're spread out all over the country, but we do a lot of really cool things together, and we meet up, and we do Zoom workouts together, and it feels like we're all connected, and that's the magic in our team, in our community. And this community is what will teach you as a coach. So, you know, you're not expected to know everything. If you go through this webinar and you hear these stories and you decide, you know, why not me? I can do this too. Then we don't just sign you up and throw you to the wolves and say, good luck out there. Like, we do it together. We have training, and we have things that we give you. We have tools that we give you. And we don't just say, you know, here, go run a challenge group by yourself. We do it together. We take you by the hand, and we help you, and we teach you along the way. So it's not about being an expert. It's not about knowing everything there is to know. It's not about being in the best shape possible. It's just about wanting to make a difference, wanting to make an impact, wanting accountability for yourself, because you know that you learn best when you teach something, right? That's exactly why I'm still here 4 years later, because I know that I have people counting on me, and so I don't give up on myself because I don't want to give up on them. And that's the magic of coaching. So a coach is just a accountability partner, a cheerleader, a friend, a support system, really, in its simplest terms. That's what it is. So I wanted to keep that short and sweet because I have a tendency to talk a whole lot. I'm going to pass it on to Kelley. She's going to talk to you about how coaching has helped her personal journey, which I touched upon a little bit, with accountability and stuff like that. So I'm going to mute, and Kelley's going to take over.
Hi. I can't see everybody's faces. I think it automatically told everybody to not turn on their camera. So if you want to see what we see, on the bottom left, there's a button you can push start video so I can see your guys' faces too. But my name is Kelley. I've been a coach for 2 years. Thanks, Lindsay. So I've been thinking about this all day. Like, how am I going to share my journey and how coaching's helped me? And I'm kind of like a fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. I don't ever really take notes, because if I do, then I'm like reading them like a dork. So here we go. 2 years ago, I signed up as a coach. I started with a 21-day fix, and a small backstory. I've always been heavier. I've never really been big. Like, I never thought I was really heavy, but when I got pregnant with my first son, I gained 40 pounds, which isn't a ton with pregnancy, but I went from 175 to 206 pounds when I delivered him. And when I had him, I was still young. I mean, I was in my mid-late 20s, and I was like, everybody's like, oh, your first kid, your weight just falls off. No big deal. You'll have your baby, and then once he comes out, you'll be good. And I had an 8.5-pound baby, and I was like, winning. Like, I just dropped almost 10 pounds with this kid, and that didn't happen. None of that weight came off. 10 pounds came off. So of that 40 pounds I gained, I still had 30 pounds to lose. My husband was in the military at the time, and he got picked up for a deployment when Chase was almost 6 months old. So Chase was 6 months old. I was working full-time at an OB office, and my husband was gone. So weight loss was the absolute last thing I ever thought about, because I didn't have time for that. So he came home from his deployment. Chase is a deployment baby, by the way. He came home from a deployment. I got pregnant, had a baby, deployed, came home. Guess what? I was pregnant with my second baby. So I got 2 deployment babies, which is great. I mean, it worked out perfect. He was home for both the deliveries. But yeah, that 30 pounds that I didn't lose for my first baby was right there with my second. So I started that pregnancy at 195 pounds. Now, mind you, I worked at an OB office, so I was already like, don't look at me, I'm a big girl, and I'm not pregnant. Now I'm pregnant, and I'm not going to try to gain a bunch of weight. And I didn't. I only gained like 18 pounds with her, but that put me at being 216 pounds when I walked out of the hospital after having Riley. So that was the weight I started my journey with 21-day fix. So it's 216 pounds. I pressed play on day 1, And she wants me to get on my knees and get back up and hold weights. And I'm like, this girl is crazy. Like, I can barely get down on my knees to pick up a baby. Like, you're going to do what? So I struggled, to say the least. I struggled with the workouts. I'm the worst when it came to nutrition. I told you guys I'm a fly by the seat of kind of person. So I didn't plan. I didn't prepare. I would throw some containers together, check them off on a list, and kind of like Hail Married it and hope it works. Surprisingly, I lost 7 pounds and 7 inches in 3 weeks. So even with not being 100% perfect according to plan, I still lost weight. And I was like, hey, if I can do this, anybody can do this. Anybody can try to do this. So I signed up as a coach because I had a couple girls who were like, what are you doing? You look great. I lost some weight. So I signed up as a coach, and it was instantaneous that I was like, this is a job. Now I'm a coach, and this is my job. When you're a mom, you lose your purpose, right? You are always mom and wife. Always. You are never Kelley anymore. And I lost that. And I lost it really quickly when I had my second, because I went from working full time with 1 baby to staying home with 2. And we moved to North Carolina where we live now. So I knew nobody. So I hit postpartum depression, which I didn't know was a thing that you could not get up until your baby's 4 months old, right? I had none of that until I moved up here, and it was like instant. Postpartum depression. I'm trying to do this new workout program. All of these things led me to crying in my bathroom all the time. So I joined as a coach, and I met all these girls, and I started sharing what was going on in my life. And everybody was like, hey, I have that same problem, or I went through that too, and this is what I did. And leaning on these girls and linking arms virtually, because of course I hadn't met any of them yet, was my saving grace. So I did the 21-day fix. I did a couple other programs. I am almost at 70 pounds gone. I'm at 68 pounds I've lost. Yeah, it's crazy, like crazy to say that. Every time people ask me, I'm like, well, if I was not a coach, had I not taken that leap into the unknown, I wouldn't be here. Like, I would be probably 15 pounds down. I would have failed at the diets because I didn't have these wonderful ladies saying, hey, Kelley, how was, day 7 of your workout? Or my girls who are my challengers now, they look up. I wouldn't say they look up to me because, I'm in the trenches with them trying to lose weight. Like, they don't put me on a pedestal because I tell them up front, look, I have failed at everything. So if you need help, I'm here. But please don't say, how do you do what you do? Because I'm right here with you guys. So my challengers, they text me like I text them. They're my accountability partners as much as I'm their accountability partner. Just because I'm their coach doesn't mean that I don't need their accountability and their check-ins too. So the way it is I always tell them, I'm like, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. I will be here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're staring at cookies at work, you text me and take a picture, and I'm going to tell you don't eat it, and then you can walk away from it. That's what I do. That's my job. So that, I hope, in a full circle way, told you guys how coaching helped me. Because like I said, without these ladies and without this community, I wouldn't have lost almost 70 pounds and changed my life. Like, I have a purpose now. I wake up every morning so excited to check in on my challengers and to check in my challenge group and go live and share, what struggles I've overcome, because I've overcome a lot of things. So if you guys have any questions at any point in time, there's a chat box too down at the bottom. You can click chat, type right in there, or you can text your coach. Bye. It was good talking to you guys.
Can we all do a little dance for Kelley, because she is a freaking rock star. And I have to say that I completely agree with the whole, when you're a coach, it elevates your accountability and makes you stay in the game so much more, because I'm pretty much the same as her. I am not going to continue interrupting. I'm actually just going to introduce the next person who's going to be speaking tonight. Her name is Linnea, and she is going to be talking about why she needed Team Evolve and just a challenge group in general, and how it has benefited her full circle. Linnea, you're still muted.
Yeah, I had to unmute my phone and not the laptop.
Okay.
So I'm working on 2 devices here. You guys are going to have to bear with me. I think I've got it squared away, though. Hi, I'm Linnea. So a lot like Erica was saying, my deal with a healthy lifestyle before finding Team Evolve, before Sarah found me, was, go to the store, pick up a DVD, maybe get like a really tiny set of weights and try to do it, stick with it for a couple of weeks, and then just kind of lose interest and fall off the grid. I'd get bored. I wouldn't push myself. Like if I was getting workout programs off of Pinterest that, it just lists a bunch of moves, I don't push the intensity the way that you're supposed to for those without somebody to guide me. So I wasn't getting out of it, the full potential of doing something like that. I didn't have time for a gym membership. I have a 3.5-year-old. I work full time. I commute an hour each way into the city for my job 3 days a week. It makes it hard to fit in gym time and parenting and anything else. So working out at home is really my only outlet, but I wasn't consistent with it. I would be good with my eating. I've always kind of been, I've always kind of geared my nutrition towards a cleaner lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, I have the biggest sweet tooth ever, and I always have. But I was raised in a household that just naturally kind of ate healthy. So I sort of already had that. And so I could maintain my weight well with my diet. Like I knew when to rein it in, and I knew when to let myself enjoy it. So my weight wasn't the issue. The problem was the actual shape that I was in. I couldn't maintain a workout program because I was at home by myself and bored. And what I needed was something that I could stick to because I had the post-baby pooch in my belly. My butt was getting a little saggy from sitting on it all day for work. I'd get aches and pains, a little bit of what I called my mommy shoulder from always hoisting her. It was getting kind of sore, a little bit of sciatic pain. And so those things would get better when I was active, but I wasn't consistent with being active. And that's kind of where Sarah came in, excuse me. Kind of where Sarah came in. Sarah's my coach. She brought me into this, and she saw that I was kind of already like working out a little bit. I was training for a Spartan race, and that's when I was consistent, is when I was training for something. But then when it was over, I was like, okay, I'll just take like a month off, and then I would never get back into it. So I was training for a Spartan race, and Sarah, said, it's really awesome. You've got like your nutrition together. Do you think you want to share that with some other people? And I was really nervous. I was very hesitant because of my track record. I'll be good for a while, and then I'll just kind of disappear. I'll throw it out the window and be like, it's not working. Never mind. I'll just sit here and enjoy my TV shows at night instead. So after a little bit of back and forth, Sarah finally got me into one of her challenge groups, and it was just, it's kind of electric being in there. You've got this whole group of other people who are going for the same goals that you are. In, they are really committing to their own health. They're working really hard on their fitness. They're pushing themselves to get stronger and better, and shed weight if they need to shed weight, get strong, tone up, really work towards a goal. And having all of them in there, you get to check in with each other every single day and see what they're doing and see what's working for them and what's not working for them. And then you can bounce ideas off of each other. You keep each other motivated, sharing recipes, sharing, hey, I'm having a hard time with working out in the evening. Can somebody get me up tomorrow morning? And maybe I'll get it done before work, which is what I did at one point. Been like, I can't do this at night anymore. The day is getting in my way. Somebody wake me up tomorrow morning and just make me do it at 5 a.m. And now I get up and I work out at 4 a.m. every single day like a crazy person, but it makes such a difference in how my day goes. And having these women here, we get on Zoom. I'm usually the first person on in the morning, and then people start jumping in with their workouts, and it's great. I get to see everybody start their day and really push and go for what they want. And the team evolve even more than the challenge group pushes me to do that too. Is they'll ask you the tough questions to get you outside of your comfort zone and try to get you moving forward, try to get you over whatever speed bump you've hit that is, about to make you roll backwards down the hill. I have been consistent with working out pretty much every single day. Rest days aside, since June, which is like the longest streak I've ever had. And I never would have done it if it was just me at home by myself. I wouldn't have had anybody to share my progress with. I wouldn't have had anybody to share my struggles with. And that's the biggest thing for me, is having somewhere to really shout out when, hey, I just finished this program and I feel amazing, or I just finished this workout and I feel amazing. It makes a big difference knowing that they're there and they're actually interested in how that day went or in how that week went. They make it a lot of fun. I think that's about it for me.
Thank you. I agree. I think that challenge groups are kind of like the secret sauce. And when you get to be a coach and actually help to run and manage a challenge group, it really just like what Kelley was saying, like being a coach just takes it up a notch, and it takes that up a notch, you being faithful to check into your challenge group every day. Even on rest days, we check in with each other because what we do. I mean, it's kind of cool that's what we do. And it's that simple. Erica is going to speak about fears, hesitations, and personal. Whenever you're trying something new, whether it be a fitness program or starting your own business, there's always fears and hesitations. I mean, none of us will say to you that we signed up and instantly felt 100% confident that we were doing the right thing or that this was going to work for us. In fact, a lot of us would probably tell you that we signed up just for a really sweet discount, and then it started working for us, and it was just super easy to start sharing it with our family and friends, because when you feel good, you want all the people around you to feel good. And so that's where it came from. It wasn't, you don't have to be 100% confident going in. So Eric is going to share a little bit more about that.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Okay. I'm super nervous and I'm like clammy and my heart's racing. And I drank sleepy time tea before I came here, which was probably a bad idea. So my name's Erica. I'm from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, and I have only been a coach for 4 months. So I'm relatively new and I'm fresh. A little bit about my story is it took me 2 years to commit to being a coach, a very long time. And Carla Stauffer is the one who asked me for 2 years. And I just repetitively kept saying, no, I don't have time. It's not for me. Just every excuse under the sun. And, those excuses parallel to your fears and your hesitations. That's how you portray them. And, it's easy to say no. It's very easy to say no to anything. And it's much harder to say yes to something that you don't know about. And so I'm glad I said yes, because I absolutely love being a coach. But if you're afraid, I think being afraid is a good thing. It means something's about to change. It means something in your life is no longer going to be a constant. And, in my personal development yesterday, it's read something about uncertainty is where new happens. And, it's easy to be certain. I used to get a $4 coffee from Dunkin' Donuts every single day and get the same kind. I knew what I was getting. I knew, what flavor, like it was habit. I did it. I knew it all. And it's hard to say yes to something that you don't know about, but that's where you grow. That's where you realize that change is going to be something new for you. And so some of the hesitations that I have had was, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the ability to be a coach. How do I even be one? And if those are things that you think those are, things that can be solved and that we can help you figure out and overcome those. And, the more you hesitate, the greater the chance you won't take action on what you're afraid of doing. And so if you're here tonight listening to this, I want you to thank the person who invited you to this call, because they saw something in you that you didn't see, or noticed something about you that you didn't notice that would make you a fantastic coach, whether you know them for 2 weeks or 2 years or your family. They saw something in you that you didn't see. And I think that's really important, because we don't always think positively of ourselves. And so that brings me to, the fear of rejection. What will my friends and family think if I become a coach? Fear that you'll fail. And the first Erica that spoke, and Lindsay will talk to you about failing forward. You're going to fail forward because you're going to grow. You're not going to go backwards. Fear of people that are going to say no. There will definitely people that are going to say no. Fear of not being able to be yourself. And I think that alone will help you in this tremendously, because you attract yourself. You are better when you're yourself. It's hard to pretend to be, some other kind of person when, you're trying to do things like this. We don't have you need to abide by these rules. Be you. That's how you're going to excel in really anything. And this particularly will help you become yourself and figure out who you are. And you'll quickly see how different this coaching is from all of the other types of things you see out there. We help each other succeed. If I'm succeeding, I want you to succeed with me. I'm going to help you. We're, like they said earlier, we're not just going to throw you to the wolves and say, all right, see ya, because that's definitely not how this works. And so that brings me to personal development, which is also very important. I didn't realize how important personal development was until I started being a coach. And in the beginning, they tell you to read it and you're like, I don't even know what that is. Why even read it? But it's definitely the foundation for your business and for your life. It will help you, in ways that you didn't think that you needed to improve upon. I have anxiety, so some of the books I read help me with my anxiety. I have, for any issue you have, it can help you in your marriage and your friendships and your personal life. It can help you in this business. It helps you in any possible way that you can think of. And you don't have to spend a lot of time on it. And I'm sure everyone here can give you an example of what book to read, because there's tons out there. But I spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes listening to a podcast or reading a book. And I try to apply that to my day. And that's what's the most important part, is, reading a personal development or listening and applying it to your life, because that's how you're going to continue to move forward and grow. And I have 2 books. I'm not going to say them out loud because they have curse words in them for any kids that are listening. This is the one I'm reading now. I don't know if it's backwards, but if someone can type it in the chat, okay. And then this one also has a curse word in it. And I've also read T is for Transformation by Shaun T, which is an amazing book and really inspiring. But like I said, like fears and your hesitations and, personal development all tie in together. And if you're afraid, I'm happy that you're afraid, because that means that something is about to change. It means that you're about to take a next step in your life that will 100% change your life in ways that you didn't think that were possible. So I think that's all I have.
Thank you. I was just thinking when she said, I'm glad you're afraid, because that's like, yeah. I mean, if you're not afraid, then it may not be worth it. Like the things that are the scariest in life, like having kids was super scary for me. It's one of the best things I ever did. Joining Beachbody and joining Team Evolve, well, creating Team Evolve, because I haven't introduced myself yet, but Erica and I started Team Evolve. And that was really scary. Like, I remember us having conversations like, what the heck are we doing? We don't know what we're doing. Like, literally don't know what we're doing, but we just went for it. And it was scary, but it has been one of the best decisions we've ever made. So I know you guys keep seeing me interrupt everybody, and I'm doing that just to introduce the next person, to let you know who they are and what they're going to be talking about. But I'm Lindsay, and I started Team Evolve with Erica, 3.5 years ago. I've been a coach. It'll be 4 years in August that I've been a coach. A little bit about my story. I had my first son, and I was struggling hard with postpartum depression. I had no idea that I had postpartum depression, and just kept going through these motions of like going to the grocery store and breaking down in tears in the line because I felt guilty leaving my son half a mile down the road with his father so that I could go grocery shopping. I remember sitting on the floor of an Old Navy fitting room, sobbing. I'm sure people thought I was crazy because they could probably hear me crying. Just like hating myself, hating everything I saw in the mirror, hating everything I felt inside. It was just, it was an awful feeling. And so I finally went to the doctor and let them know, like, I don't think this is normal. For a long time, I thought this is just what mom life is like. We're not allowed to do anything for ourselves anymore. And it's a hard adjustment. And I'm just going through this adjustment period. And when I talked to the doctor about it, she was like, no, honey, there's something more here. We really need to think about getting you on a medication regimen. And that scared me. It scares me to rely on something other than myself to cope with my emotions, my feelings, the anxiety I was having. And so I asked her if she would give me an opportunity to find a more holistic approach to curing that whatever was going on. And she said she would give me a week, and then I had to go back to her and we would talk. Well, I ended up finding Beachbody through a friend. She had just signed up as a coach, and she was like, why don't you just try this? And I thought, maybe if I lose some weight and I'll start feeling better about myself, I won't hate what I see in the mirror, and that'll make me happy again. Like I was, all these things that we tell ourselves, like I'll be happy when I'm skinny, or I'll be, happy when I can fit into that size pant, or whatever it is that we tell ourselves, because that's a lot of that. And so I signed up. I got my Shakeology in. I signed up as a coach because I wanted a discount, which I'm going to tell you more about in a little bit. But I signed up and had no intention of ever working, just really wanted the discount and wanted to try the stuff. Truly thought I would hate Shakeology because I had never done weight loss shakes before, which Shakeology is not a weight loss shake. But I had it in my mind that this was going to be gross. I was going to chug it. I was going to lose the weight. I was never going to drink it again. And my depression was going to go away, and everything was going to be rainbows and butterflies, and it'd be wonderful again. And I went back to the doctor, and she was asking me all these questions, and I was like, I haven't cried in a couple days. And I mean, I was like crying multiple times a day the first time I went to talk to her. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. I was like, come to think of it, like, it was really kind of surprising to me as she was asking me questions. Like, I hadn't even realized that I had gone a couple days without having an anxiety attack. I had gone a couple days without having, crying unconsolably. I had gone a couple days without like hating myself for no reason. And she was like, well, what are you doing different? Like, what's changed in the last 2 weeks that is suddenly, all this stuff is different? And I was like, nothing, I don't know. And then it hit me. I had been drinking Shakeology for about 8 days. And that was when it was like, okay, I've got to share this. I have to, this is like my calling. Like this, like I was meant to find Beachbody so that I could share this part of my story with other women and help them get through something similar. And so that's how I got here today. And honestly, just being able to share that story and being able to help so many of my friends, my family, people that I've met online through my story has been so empowering. And I will testify that I never intend to go a day without Shakeology again, because I don't want to go back to that way. I've since had a second baby, and I did not have postpartum depression with her. I drank Shakeology every single day of my pregnancy, and I've drank it every day since I've had her. Now, can I sit here and tell you that Shakeology cures postpartum depression? Or can I sit here and say that, that's why I didn't get it with my second child? Not for certain, but I can say that it works for me, that it has made me a much better wife, mom, teacher, human being. And for that reason alone, I am going to be here for life, and I'm going to keep sharing it. So with all that said, my job tonight is really to answer any frequently asked questions that you guys have. And what I'll do is I'll share a couple answers to questions that we get, common questions that people ask us pretty typically when we're talking about what we do as coaches. And then if you have a question that you want to throw in the chat down here below, like where Kelley told you to type, feel free. I'm going to be honest, I have a little bit of ADHD, so I have it closed right now, but I promise at the end I'll pop it up and scroll through it before, or Erica, you can shoot me a text and make sure I get the question. But one of the first questions we get is, how do you make money? Like, everyone always wants to know that. And I will say that there's lots of different ways to make money with this. We make a 25% commission on everything that we sell. The company is phenomenal at rewarding us for growing our businesses and for developing new coaches and mentoring each other, which is one of there's lots of reasons why we do everything together, but one of the reasons we do everything together is because when you do things together, you do better. And so that's why we always make sure to team you up with somebody. But you make a 25% commission on any products that you sell. You also get weekly and monthly bonuses, quarterly bonuses from the company based on what you're doing. Now, then that always leads us to the next question, where people ask, well, what are the requirements? Like, what if I don't make a sale this month? Do I get kicked out? Or do I have to make a certain purchase in order to stay in? Because it is my understanding that there are other MLMs that do require that. They require you to make a certain personal purchase, or they require you to sell so much product in each quarter in order to stay in. And Beachbody does not do that. What they require pretty much, and this is more like a Team Evolve requirement, is just that you have a heart for others. And your main goal as a coach is to live your own journey, but also inspire and influence others along their journey. Most of us here are not here because I'll go on record and say none of us are here because we're money hungry. None of us got into this business like, I'm going to be a millionaire one day. What we did is we realized that income is a really sweet bonus when you're doing something you love. And the more you love it, the more passionate you are about it, typically the more income you're going to make. Some other requirements. So people always ask, like, how much time do I have to put in? Time is one of the biggest fears and hesitations that Erica talked about earlier. That's up to you. This is your business. So you literally put in however much you want. There are days like today, I work full time still because I want to. And I had a bad day at work today. I teach middle school, and the kids were acting like middle schoolers, and I didn't really want to work my business. I wanted to come home and snuggle my babies. Oh, and then my baby threw up in the car on the way home. So then I really didn't have an option to work the business or not. And it's okay. Nobody's getting mad at me. Nobody's asking me, did you do this, this, and this? Nobody's making me ask for time off, or, I don't have to make excuses or answer to somebody. This is mine. This is all mine. So that's kind of cool. You can work 30 minutes one day. If you're home on a Saturday and your husband is taking the kids somewhere, you can work 3 or 4 hours if you want to. If you don't want to work the entire time you're camping for 4 days, then don't work the whole time you're camping for 4 days. It's really an awesome thing. Other requirements. So I know that people sometimes also ask, like, well, I don't know anything about nutrition. I'm not in shape. I'm not anywhere near in shape. Guys, I wasn't either. I was postpartum in the thralls of depression when I started my business. It's okay. It's not about being perfect. In fact, if you're not perfect, you probably have an advantage because you have a story. You have a journey that you're about to embark on, and you get to share that with people. And that's so real. That is so much more real than seeing someone who's already got a 6-pack or already, got all the answers. And we need those people too. In fact, I texted one of them tonight because I was just celebrating the fact that I didn't open up the Oreo package after having such a bad day today. But we don't necessarily require you to have a nutrition background or an exercise fitness background or anything like that. Most of us don't have that either, or it's something that we're adding into our personal development because we're interested in it now. So don't feel like you have to have it all together. Don't feel like you have to be at your goal weight. Don't feel like you have to have any freaking clue what you're going to do, because we're all here to support you. It is not required that you know what you're doing before you get started. Another question we often get from that is, how do I sign up? There's a couple different ways to sign up. I'm not going to talk money or cost tonight. You can talk to the person who invited you to this call about that. But I do want you to know that there are a couple different ways to sign up. One of which being by just paying a fee to become a coach. Now, with that, you do get like a coach kit that kind of sets you up to start working the business. However, if you're asking for my opinion, or if you're not, I'll give it to you anyway. I would highly suggest that you go with a challenge pack. So you probably have heard your coach talk about a challenge pack before. The person who invited you may have even already mentioned it to you. This is by far the most bang for your buck, and it's going to set you up to truly embark on your health and fitness journey. And the best way to inspire and help other people is to be working on yourself. Really what most of us do every day is just share how we feel, our transformation, our mental transformation, in addition to our physical transformation, we've gained from part of Team Evolve. And when you get a challenge pack, you get set up with workout programs, the containers, the portion control containers to help you really understand what your nutrition should look like each day. And it's catered to you. You figure out what you need, and it gets catered to you and your body type. And then you also get a month's supply of Shakeology, which is like bomb.com, if you couldn't tell from what I was saying earlier. And really, once you can start sharing, using those things, consuming those things yourself and sharing them with your friends and family, that's when your business starts rolling. So to me, if you plan to sign up, that's the way to do it. Now, you heard us throw around some things tonight, like 25% discount, hobby coach, discount coach. You may have heard those things. I think I had mentioned that that's what I originally signed up as. A lot of people sign up as a discount coach in the beginning. So I want to kind of go through what the different levels of coaching are, or different, not the different levels, but the different, I guess, ideas of what you might invest in the coaching business yourself. So you can always sign up to be a discount coach, which means you just sign up and you enjoy a really sweet 25% discount on everything we have to offer through Beachbody, which would be workouts. You get a discount on clothing. You get the 25% discount on your Shakeology, any supplements that you take, vitamins that you might be using, anything. We even have this really cool product now called Daily Sunshine, which is formulated by pediatricians just for kids. Super amazing. A lot of coaches on our team give that to their children on a daily basis. You would get a discount on all of those things. Again, I signed up for the discount, and then it quickly evolved into me wanting to do more because I realized how good I felt. It's kind of like when you find a girl who cuts your hair really well, you tell your friends because nobody wants to have a terrible haircut. And that's kind of the way we all feel about our business. Like, we all feel amazing, so we tell all of our friends because nobody wants to be the mom who's sitting on the park bench because she's too tired to go out and play with her kids at the park, right? You can also be what's called a hobby coach, which I think is what a lot of our team is. And what that means is this is something that you do on the side. It's something you do because you want to take care of yourself. It's something you do because you love it and you enjoy it, and the people on the team are really cool. And it's just like, you know, you make a couple $100s a month, maybe even $1,000 a month, and you use that money to buy your family's groceries, or you I don't know, pay your car payment, that kind of thing. It's really something where you're enjoying this. This is, you know, extra for you and your family. Maybe you're planning a family vacation and you're going to use the income for that. And then we have what's called a business builder. And there are several of us on Team Evolve that would consider ourselves business builders. These are people who are really trying to grow a business and get more people involved in changing lives and ending the trend of obesity. And what we're doing is constantly inviting, constantly growing. You see us maybe working more hours in a week than a hobby coach would. Not because someone's telling us we have to, because we want to. That's our goal. Our goal is to be a business builder. And so these are people who might be making a full-time income. These are people like Erica, who now no longer have to go work for someone else. They get to stay home. There's another coach on our team who recently reduced her hours at her full-time job so that she can be home more. I actually have replaced my teaching income with my coaching income, but I've got a really new bomb job and I love it. So I'm still teaching too. So this money has allowed us to pay off student loans and that kind of thing, which is really cool if you think about all the opportunity that's out there. So there's no like requirement to be a business builder. There's no requirement to be the guy who's putting in like 20 hours a week. You really get to just choose. This is your business and you get to decide what you want to do and how you want it to grow and all that good stuff. I'm kind of looking through the chat right now to see if there are any questions. And I don't know if I've missed any, but I'm not seeing any right now. Let me know if you guys have any questions or if there's anything I missed, team. Okay. Well, one thing I do want to end by saying is Team Evolve, if you're here with us right now and you can see everybody, we are a team of moms, wives, teachers, friends, nurses, stay-at-home moms. There's all sorts of people that make up our team, and we understand that this is not the only thing we do. So whenever we have team calls, whenever we have trainings like this or anything really, we try to be really try to honor each other's time, because we all have family, we all have other obligations, and we all have things that, you know, are priorities in our life that don't necessarily mean we want to be on a call all night long. So since there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight. And I'm excited to welcome you guys to the team when you join Team Evolve. I think that you would absolutely love it here. So have a good night.